welcome to part 2 of Africa's premier sports video podcast, the Three Quarters podcast. Also remember, jump onto the hashtag 3QP, let us know what you'd like to see on the show, and let us know what your sporting interests are. I'm BMOTW.
And I'm Naraka Muya.
So we start off with Bad Man of the Match, feature game, from our feature game rather, which was Nondies versus Impala. So, my usuals, Liech and Somu, I felt on that day did not perform. On the Impala side, I would say Quinto Ongo really impressed me. His defense is just on another level. You could see him actually shuffling. I don't think I've actually seen someone actively shuffle on the pitch, but he does that, which that was pretty impressive for me. Elkins, I believe, is a very good addition to Impala. Elkins Musonya, who's who after the transfer window found himself at Impala. On the Nondi side, I would say Ian Mabo really impressed at number 9. I feel like he made a big difference to the game, but the guy who I feel was a game changer and also who kicked the final points in, Phil Densine.
No one really, I won't lie, I mean on Impala side I wasn't really impressed by their stars. I get the feeling that first Samuel Leach was being played out of position.
Yes, I definitely think that.
He thrives more at the number 10 or the number 15 position. I prefer him at the number 15 position. He's more entertaining at the number 15 position. Elkins Msonye, Fonto, I've seen Fonto have better performances from him. We'll blame it on the fact that he's coming into a new system. Samson Onsomo really didn't have a good game. So no one really on Impala side, I won't lie to you, but for me, it was Phil Densine at the Nondi side. Cool, calm, collected. This is the Sine I remember from when he was at Main Machine, 2008, 2009. I feel at Nondi's his biggest problem was that he was being played out of position when he was being played at inside center. But I liked the way he controlled his backline. It wasn't flashy, but like I was saying, it was functional. And to have the guts to go ahead. Remember, just before he had missed a penalty from such a
roughly
position, roughly the same place. And for him to sit down or rather to be in the field and decide that he was going to take that kick and to convert it the way he did with the pressure that was behind him. I have to give him props. So my bad man of the week is Phil Densine.
Very well done to him. I think it's been a while since we saw him playing like he did yesterday, and I mean I'm happy for him. I hope he continues because he's clearly making a very big difference for his team. So we move on to the shorter version of the game. Kenya 7 stalwarts are on strike due to pay cuts, and I mean, once you hear about the pay cuts, you know what's coming next. I mean, just to be very honest. There are a few people who are like, no, but why? Oh, they should just play. Oh, represent your country. But you're like, you're cutting someone's salary by more than half. And you're expecting them to raise a family because they're not working now. They'll be with you. They'll be traveling. I mean, bonuses have also been cut and all of that. And I just feel like it's just, I mean, I feel like the players is just like, it's not worth it. So, that's what's happening at the moment.
On Thursday last week, I was at club night for my club, and of course the discussion came up, and a couple of the older generation were, it's a chance to represent your country, what, and then it went to the most pathetic line I always hear: in our days, we want to wait first. Your days are done.
We're not in your days anymore.
You're not in your days, number one. Number two, the people you competed against in your days were also not being paid as much, right? So in a country that was professional, for example, let's say Australia, if you're playing Australia in the 80s, they still had other jobs. They still had other jobs, those guys of those days. And you had other jobs also. So the sport is different now. The people who these players are supposed to measure up against are full-time professionals. They're getting salaries just to play this game, right? And you see, the thing that really pisses me off about this thing is that we shift the argument. Now the focus is on the players who have refused to play. The other thing I was asking someone is, if you got a pay cut at your job, would you stay? And he came, I was like, he was like, hey, but I'll play. So why are you making noise? It's the same thing. These guys, it's a job for them. Do you think it's not a hobby? It's a job, it's professional or it's semi-professional. And I hate the fact that the focus is shifting, because the question we should be asking ourselves is, why are we here? why don't we have a sponsor? Why don't we have money to pay these guys? It's because, number one, and you said it very well when we were on air somewhere, on K24, you said it, no corporate wants to touch the Kenya Rugby Union because their house is not in order. So you're not attractive. No sponsor wants to touch you, one. Two, what do you do with the sponsorship money? Three, in 2018, 98% of your revenue is from sponsorship. Like, you can't think of any other way to generate revenue. You can't sell merchandise. You can't, even this broadcasting rights. I mean, you can't think of any way else to generate money to run that union. So, look, people will say whatever they want to say. You'll say it's because there's no sponsor. To me, if you ask me, it's crap. I'm with these guys. I may understand where they're coming from, and I'm with these guys. If they don't want to play because of the pay cut, allow them not to play, and don't make noise because of that. You're not paying them. You're not paying them. You've slashed their salary by almost what? 2/3, over half.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of money, from 170 to 45,000. Come on, man. You can't expect them to put in the same amount of commitment they did. So yeah, you guys continue. Don't even go. That I actually do feel for them. It's not right.
Yeah. I mean, while yes, you do understand that yes, you're playing for your country, but it's not just about that. Unfortunately, it's not. I mean, if you want to compete at the highest level, then there's no point in, like, you've been playing at this level, now you know you won't be playing at that level because of this factor, and this factor. I mean, when your mind is not settled, then you're not performing.
Yeah.
So then, what do we expect from them?
On the flip side, I think it's a benefit for Kenya Cup, because then
teams are beefed up.
Teams are beefed up. All the stars are back. They're playing what I think they love. When I talk to one or two of them, and they're like, "Look, I'd missed 15s, and it's good to be back in the 15 setup." Kenya Cup. So, thank you. You can continue slashing your salaries. Let them come back for Kenya Cup.
Talking about Kenya Cup, now we're moving on to the transfer window.
Yeah.
So obviously you have one, before the season starts, or at the end of one season, and then we also had one in the middle of the season, over the Christmas break. So this is basically an opportunity, especially in the middle, for teams to sort of beef up, their sides. And there's, been a couple of big transfers, but I don't know, I think it's actually a good thing in the sense that, you get to halfway and you realize this is not working. We need to invest, we need to get, this person from here, this person's been looking good. I mean, of course, that's not necessarily brilliant for the smaller teams. But I mean, even they've got smaller guys to go and borrow from. So, I mean, we've got guys like Western Bulls also contracting players. So
I'm laughing because the team that's always a victim of this January transfer window is Strathmore. And once again, they've been raided. I think they've lost their best player. Elkins Msonya, Fonto, popularly known as Fonto, is now moved to Impala. And remember, after a very good outing last year, I mean, he featured for the Kenya Simbas. He was perhaps, their biggest player at Strathmore, so they've lost him. There's also Queens, who just signed a Ugandan back row, George Scott Oloch. He had his debut this past weekend, match day 6. And I think it's good for Queens because Scott is a fetcher. Anyone who's watched him play for Uganda against Kenya, he always causes chaos and a breakdown for the Kenya team. So I think it's a plus for Queens. And the irony, both of them are fetchers, Elkins Msonya, Scott Oloch, very good at the breakdown, very good in open play, very good in ball carrying, especially for Scott. So yeah, those are the two that stand out for me at this transfer window.
I think those are good ones. I can't wait to see. I didn't watch the Queens game, so yes, I'd like to see George play as well. Elkins I saw, and for me, in as much as that might have not been his best performance, you could definitely see him. Like, you could tell he was making a difference in the team, which is good for him.
Yeah, in time, it's definitely going to be a good signing for Impala because of the class that Elkins Msonya is, the class player that he is. He might not have had a brilliant game over the weekend, but I'm sure he's going to improve as the season progresses.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now moving on to just the last bit before we finish part 2, and that's the international rugby scene. So Six Nations will be back
Yes.
on the 1st of February.
Yeah.
That means England, France. Hey, France.
It's all right. It's all right.
England, France, Ireland, Italy, Scotland, and Wales. Too many L's. Too many L's. Are basically going to have 5 weeks of rugby packed action.
Yeah.
So first game we'll have on February the 1st is France versus Wales. Then on the 2nd we'll have Scotland versus Italy and Ireland versus England.
That's the one everyone is waiting for.
Yep.
And England have just been dealt a blow. Open side flanker Sam Underhill has been ruled out of the Six Nations because of an ankle surgery. He was one of England's top performers last year, especially I remember in the game against the All Blacks towards the end of the year. So they are going to be missing his dirty work. He's those guys who are exceptional at the breakdown and tackling and the dirty work, like the work no one wants to do.
Yeah.
He does it very well. So they're going to be missing that definitely. They came up against Ireland, a team that has the World Player of the Year, Johnny Sexton, Team of the Year, Coach of the Year, Joe Schmidt, and an Ireland team that is firing on all cylinders. Everyone is tipping them to win the Six Nations. More importantly, people are actually tipping them to beat the All Blacks later on in the year, the World Cup. So it's a good chance for guys to see Ireland Nigani. Let's see.
Let's just see.
Let's see what they bring to the table.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, for their sakes and for everyone who's supporting them, I hope they start with a bang.
Yeah.
Although I will be supporting England, to be honest. So anyway, who are you guys supporting? Remember, you can find us on social media to let us know. That is by following us on Instagram, liking our page on Facebook, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. I'm BMOTW.
And I'm Ngaroka Moya.
We'll see you in part 2.